There are two ways to configure an IMX in standalone mode, manual or with a machine template. Start by tapping on the Setup button. Then tap Standalone. To begin, set the IMX ID by manually typing in a number between 1 and 9999 or by using the +1 button. Now give the IMX a recognizable name. You will then need to specify the IMX network configuration. It can be obtained automatically from a DHCP server. Alternatively, you can specify an IP address manually. Here there is another +1 button. Tapping this button will increase the IP address by 1 as well as the IMX ID. You can choose to enable or disable time synchronization and specify an NTP server. This will ensure that the measurements are tagged with the correct timestamp. Next, you can review and update the firmware of the IMX. Changing the firmware can take 1 to 2 minutes, and during this time, do not close IMX Manager. Now it's time to configure the channels and Modbus settings. This can be done manually or by using a machine template. To configure channels manually, tap Channels and Relays. Listed here are the IMX device's digital channels, analog channels, and relays. When manually configuring an IMX in standalone mode, any alert thresholds will trigger Relay 1 and any danger thresholds will trigger Relay 2. It is recommended to set up threshold settings by tapping the icon at the top of the screen. These settings will be used to set danger and alert thresholds to all channels. You can change these thresholds manually when configuring each channel. To add a sensor to a channel, tap on the Add a Sensor button. You will be given a list of available sensors. Select a sensor and then set the sensor's position. Tap the checkmark icon and the sensor will be added to the channel. Tap on the channel row and you will be taken to the sensor's information section. Here you can change the sensor's position and review the sensor's parameters. For some custom sensors, these parameters can be edited. Tapping on the Alarms icon at the bottom of the screen will take you to the sensor's threshold settings. By default, these thresholds will be set from the threshold settings that were specified earlier. You can edit these thresholds by tapping on Manually Set Thresholds. You can now edit these thresholds. You can also choose to enable relays, irrespective of if threshold settings are being used. Tap the checkmark icon to return to your list of channels. You can continue to add sensors. Once satisfied, tap the back button to return to the main setup screen. You can now configure the Modbus settings. Here you can choose to enable or disable Modbus slave, opt between RTU and TCP, and edit the Modbus parameters. When configuring an IMX device in standalone mode, you have the option to use a machine template. Tap Machine Template and then select a template. Once selected, you can view the channel and relay configuration as well as the Modbus settings. When you are satisfied, tap the checkmark icon and then OK. The IMX will be saved and will reboot. At this point, it is recommended to perform a site acceptance test, which is discussed in a separate tutorial. Thanks for watching.